What's up, everyone? Welcome to week one of the month of October lessons. I don't know what day of the month that is, October 1st and 4th or something. I just live my life by weekend one, two, three, and four of each month. So it's the first weekend in October, and we got a new series called Road Trip, and we are going on a journey like you would on a road trip through the 10 commandments. So we're going to pick up in this story where the Israelites are now out of Egypt. We've just been talking about Moses, and so then God goes, hey, in order to have a stronger relationship with you and with me together, I'm going to give you the 10 major rules to follow. And that way, if something seems off, if you're going like, man, I feel like God's mad at me, well, then you just ask yourself this question of, am I doing these things that God has asked me to do? And so we're going to really break this down into 4 weeks. So it goes two, two, three, and three. So we'll go commandments one and two, three and four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10. And the way they break down is that the first four are about our relationship with God, and the next six are about our relationship with other people. So this first week, we were talking about commandments one and two. And the way we phrase this for kids is the first one says, you should have no other gods before me. And the Egyptians had gods for everything. And so they had the god of the sun. And so we're like, hey, well, sunglasses are the idol for the god of the sun. And they also had the god of, I'm just picking things around my office. They also had the god of whiteboards. I don't know. So we're going to have this is the idol for the god of whiteboards. And they also had the god of darkness. And so then this was the idol for the god of darkness, flashlight. And then strobing. God said, you have all these idols and gods. Have none of them be more important than me. And the second commandment is this: get rid of the other ones. Okay, so gather up all your gods, make sure that I'm the most important one out of all of them. Now get rid of the rest of them. I'm the only one. And so I think it's interesting. He didn't just make that one commandment, he made that two. He said, hey, you worship these other gods that you brought with you from Egypt, get rid of them. Make sure I'm number one, and then there's no number two. And so that's what we're going to talk about with kids this week is that, God's number one and there's no number two. So when we break into our small groups, oh, by the way, these are all from Exodus chapter 20. When we break into our small groups, you're going to have some options, and I wrote them on the board. That way, I don't have to try and minimize the screen and stuff. So the first thing is just a fun little get to know you. It's a virtual road trip. You're going to say, hey, we're going on, pretend we're all getting on a bus together. We're going on a road trip. I'm going on a road trip, and I'm bringing blank. And so for me, I will tell this to the kids. My favorite road trip snack is Mike and Ike's. And I don't inherently love Mike and Ike's when I'm not in the car, but when I'm in the car, my mouth is literally starting to water thinking about Mike and Ike's in a car. So I'm bringing Mike and Ike's. And then the next person to go is going to go, my name is Jeremy, and I'm going on a road trip. And they're going to say what they're bringing. I'm bringing a pillow so I can sleep in the car. And he's bringing Mike and Ike's. And the next person's going to go, and they're going to say, my name is Jessica, and I'm bringing my headphones so I can listen to music. And he's bringing a pillow, and he's bringing Mike and Ike's. And you're going to go all the way around your circle to talk about what you're bringing on the road trip. And then you'll break into a question where you're going to talk about how do we put people first. Now, the reason we're putting people first, because when I first read this in the lesson plan, I was like, why would we put people first? It's to make it tangible for kids. How do we put people first? Well, when you can tangibly say, well, if you want to put your friend first, then when your friend texts you, you text them back. Or when your friend invites you to do something, you go, man, I wanted to go and play in the backyard today, but if I want to make this friend first, I'm going to go hang out with this friend. Then you're going to flip it and go, so then what does it look like to put God first? So we know what it looks like to put someone first. What does it look like to put God first? So that's really that tangible, like, hey, put it in their terms first, and then flip the script on and make it about God. Then you have a two option arts and crafts type thing. So one of them you'll see is creating a map. We're talking about this going on this journey, the road trip. So you can create a map. And they can have a lot of fun with it and not make it spiritual. I'm okay with that at this point. Use this time intentionally to have the conversation with them. Or you can make it like, hey, you draw a map. The map, what does it look like if you were going to draw a map to get from here to, and then say, hey, you're going this place because that's where Jesus is. Okay, draw the map from here to Jesus, and you can let them draw that map. The other option is you get a blank piece of paper and they trace their hand, and then you're going to have them take all the fingers except for that one, and you're going to tape those fingers down or glue them down until it's just one, and you can make it either way of saying that it's a finger that points to God or that we're supposed to make God number one. And so either way, they can draw that and then cut their hand out. Well, the paper hand. Don't cut their hand. And so you do that with them. And then finally, the last thing you're going to do is there's just like a prayer to close out your group. And again, you don't have to pray that word for word, but it's just a great way to close the group out. Our goal is to have approximately 30 minutes in small groups. And so let me tell you the big change we're making this month. And I say we're making, it's me. I have to make it because I've been the one hosting. I'm stalling at the start because we have kids who are coming in late. And what that means is that once we actually get started, it's almost 10 minutes into service. Because like basically every time a kid comes in, I'm like, man, there might be one more kid, so let's wait. And so then we're on time, except we're starting late. So like we're playing the game for the right amount of time and we're worshiping for the right amount of time and the story's the right amount of time, but we started all that late because I didn't want kids to miss out on stuff. But then when we do that, then we get to small groups, and every week, the adult service goes shorter than they tell me it's going to go. And so I think we still have 25 minutes when really we only have 15 minutes. And that's just not enough time for a good quality small group. These kids have now been sitting for a really long time, and I want to give them the chance to talk, and I want to give them the chance to move and do an activity or a craft or whatever. They don't have time. So if the service starts at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, we are starting no later than 6:31 on Thursday. Like we are getting after it because we want to break them into smaller groups and go through these things. We want them to answer the question and talk about how they can put someone first so that they can tangibly understand how they can put God first. So what that means for you as the leader is this. It means we're going to have a lot of kids come in late. So we need to be ready to throw down some extra chairs. We had 40 kids at 9:30 and another 30 or so at 11 o'clock, which is just a ton of kids coming in. And we're also internally with the staff. I'm having conversations with people about, hey, we're going to need those side classrooms pretty soon because we're going to break into these small groups, and we need you to be able to hear your kids because you throw the mask over the top and everything gets muffled. And so I don't want my group to have to yell to hear each other because then your group has to yell to hear each other, but then you're yelling. So now we have to yell even louder, and it's just a disaster. So that's some of what we're talking about right now, but we got some options for small group. And then, like I said, we're going to have a game. Our game this week on stage is it's Disney songs that it'll have like the first two lines, and then there are no words after that. And then the group's going to have to sing along, and we're going to be like, we're going on a road trip, and we're like basically singing songs in the car. It's going to be super fun. But we're going to basically jump right into that, go over our new memory verse, and then worship in a story and get going. And then next week we'll have two more commandments, and the next week we'll have three more commandments, and the next week we'll have three more commandments. And on that final week, the 22nd and 25th, I actually know those dates because I am out of town. I get to go. We were supposed to go to Iowa back in May and visit my family. My family has not seen Crosby in, about a year now. And he was just a wee little lad at that time. And so we were going to go in May, but then that was like right in peak COVID season. And so we pushed it out. We're going in October. But I will just address this now because every time I go anywhere, somebody asks me, were you interviewing for a job? And the answer is no job included. I will not move to Iowa if my life depends on it. So anyway, thanks Ryan Lingblom for always making people ask me these questions. Anyway, have a great day. Have a great week. It's gonna be a good series, guys. I'm excited about this. Not the stories that we're used to, but really practical stuff of how we can love God and love others, and how we can be strengthening our relationship with God. So have a good day. I will see you guys on Thursday, or I'll see you on Sunday. It's gonna be fantastic. Until then, peace out.